It's a crisis years in the making. Nationwide home prices in Australia are higher than ever. Rents are at record levels and homelessness is rising. In Sydney, the average
It's not just the
home
biggest
costs
city that Australia has.
Win Holdings fixes the issue. Stop work order with Slack.
Australia is slipping into a future none of us asked for. One where homes are unaffordable, leaders look the other way, and ordinary people pay the price. But this country deserves better. It deserves strength, it deserves honesty, and deserves change. It deserves the Prime Australian Union.
Three big issues in this country are the rising housing prices and the difficulty that new buyers face. We know many of you struggle with this and many more will struggle in the future, so we need to address this issue now. Another issue is the prevalence of climate change and the lack of regulation on large companies in Australia because they release insane amounts of greenhouse gases into the environment. The final issue is that our country is at risk from the British having too much power in our democracy because of their Governor General. Now let's get over to our expert on housing.
Well, housing right now is a pretty big problem for first-time home buyers. Particularly younger people suffer from this. Investment and inflation are big reasons for this issue. We have older people in better financial states buying up housing in decent areas, jacking up the prices. Salvation Army reports that 70% of the people contacting them were spending at least 30% of their income on housing. Construction prices also seem to be going up, and all of this is making it nearly impossible to enter the housing industry. Our policy is to solve this and provide tax cuts to first-time home buyers, making it easier to buy your first house, while still difficult for investment. Another policy we wish to implement is a 75% increase in property tax for those with more than one house, disincentivizing investment in this field. Back to the head of party.
Thanks, Ryan. Housing is a really large problem in our country, but that isn't all we promised for you. For years, we've been under the British's influence. They have their own Governor General who can influence our laws, remove our Prime Minister, and dissolve Parliament. The British have influenced our history for a long, long time, but now we are a fully functioning country, and we appoint our own head of state, our own Prime Minister, and our own leader. But if this doesn't do it, let's have former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson try to convince you otherwise.
Hello everyone, thanks a lot for coming out here folks. My good friend Akash here thinks you guys should be your own country, but think of the culture. I love riding on your kangaroos and eating your Vegemite, and think of our culture. I love drinking tea and then drinking some more tea. Please don't separate from us.
As we can see, there really isn't much reason for us not to separate from Britain. Sure, it might cost a little bit of money and some tea, but that's enough on this issue. Let's get Ryan, our environmentalist, to look at this climate change.
Climate change is described as a long-term change in the average weather patterns that have come to define Earth's local, regional, and global climates. Right now, all over the world, we are suffering from this issue, causing a higher amount of moisture to evaporate and causing storms on a much larger scale. And in some water-scarce areas, there is little to no water available, causing droughts that last for a significant period of time. Unfortunately, despite this affecting all of humankind, little is being done by current politicians to address the issue. As a party purely sponsored by independent donors like Red Bull, with no power over our policies, we promise to stop this problem at its root. Heavy regulations will be implemented on companies producing greenhouse gases, and large tax cuts will be provided for both people and companies using renewable energy sources, such as solar, wind, and hydroelectricity. The Prime Australian Union promises to fix this issue. Now back to Prime Leader Archive.
Climate change, independence from Britain, and housing, while being our main issues, are not our only policies. These, along with many more, are the issues we'll address if voted in. Check out our official social media channel for our other policies and how we plan to help our country.
Wait! Class, can you tell me why we shouldn't separate from Britain? Anyone? I came all the way to Australia for this. Please!
Alright, that's the point. No one agrees with you. The Prime Australian Union is the party that can carry the massive load left by the history of Australia. We shall take in this load and improve our country's future, fixing the past. A vote for the Prime Australian Union is a vote for you, the people. Are you with me, Australia?